It's been an incredible year for Waterford's Chris Doran. There were the highs of Eurostar, the lows of the Eurovision experience.
They're coming in such a low spot, you know. But all I can say, I tried my best. It's not for myself. I tried my best for Waterford and Ireland, and I'm sorry if I offended anyone not by bringing it home, all right?
And the establishing of a singing career once the dust had settled.
Very superstitious, writings on the wall. Very superstitious, letters about to fall. 13-month-old baby broke the looking glass. 7 years of bad luck, the good things in the past.
Tonight, we take a look back at the last 12 months and how it has shaped Chris Doran.
When did you decide, or when did Chris Doran decide that music was going to be his career?
I chose music from first year when I went in. I had Miss Flynn, Pamela Flynn at the time. God, she used to kill me. Nah, she's a great teacher. I absolutely loved doing music from day one, and I think because I've been playing keyboards and piano from a younger age, and I've done some grades in the piano. But funnily enough, I was about 16 when I started singing. And once I started, I've always been going around humming and singing to myself, but once I started to sing in front of the people and in front of public, that was it. I think it kicked in from there for me.
Now, there's no doubt that you're very close to your mum, and I think she's probably one of your biggest fans, as is only right.
Yeah, true, yeah.
But how did she feel when you came home from school and were saying, hey, I'm going to be a star? Or were you saying that? Were you saying I'm going to have a musical career? What was the deal?
Funnily enough, like, I always kind of, there was always something, and I said it to my mates and my friends and family, something, even, you'd ever have that something inside that always tells you something was going to happen, and I always had it since I was a kid. And I've always said it to myself, never really said it to many people, but I've always said it to myself, and I was always saying, well, if it happened someday, how would I deal with life, like the way I am now in the public and stuff, and it happened, you know, which is very, very weird to look back and think, but obviously, I'm delighted. Like, it is very, very hard to deal with first, because you're dropped in at the deep end, and like, everywhere you go, you're in the eye of the public. You just want to pull into a garage to get petrol or diesel, like, when you walk in, everyone is staring at you. It's very, very hard to get out and do Christmas shopping. It's just a nightmare, you just can't even do it, you know. But it's part and parcel of it, and you learn to cope and you learn to deal with it, and I wouldn't change it for the world, you know.
Put your hands together for Chris Doran.
Jeff, do you remember the first time that you met Chris? Or when you came across him?
Yeah, I do. I think it was around the first time he was in Eurostar, the very first one, and he had the new album out, the first new album, the very first one, and he was in and he was trying to get it played on the radio. And he was very enthusiastic lad, obviously very talented guy, and we gave him as much help as we could at the time to do airplay.
Yeah, I got through the first heat in Kilkenny. I got through into the last 10, I think it was, but lost out in the vote. But came around to the New Year's morning, I woke up to the tabloid saying I had a wild card, which was absolutely, I don't know, there was some mistake. They said someone leaked information from either the show or from the show or something. But nevertheless, again, I just picked myself back up and I said, right, I'll leave it till next year and I'll try for next year. And when I tried, I was lucky.
The next time I met him then was the Eurostar thing, because he came in and asked us could we get behind him, which we did, because we'd had great fun as well as the success with Elaine Power with the reality TV thing, and we got everybody to get behind her, and she won. So we thought, well, sure, if we can help Elaine, we'll help Chris as well. And so that was really when I got to know the guy really well. You know, he came in and we did about an hour, I think, on the air in the evening, and we had to listen to his album and had a chat about this and that and the other. And as it happened then, he was knocked out by the phone-in competition. And then I was somewhere over Christmas that year, that'd be last Christmas, and I met him and he said, I got Louis Walsh's wild card, and he said, don't tell anyone. So we couldn't tell anyone. Everybody was bursting to say it, but the whole thing had been pre-recorded, and everybody saw Louis with the Bentley up Hennessy's Road and all that, but that had all happened around pre-Stephen's Day of last year, and he was thrilled to bits over that.
I always found Louis a nice guy. He was very, very helpful to me, very supportive. Same as Phil Cole to me, and same as Linda Martin. The three of them had been very, very supportive to me. Obviously, Linda couldn't do an awful lot because she had her wild card, and Phil was the same, had his wild card, but had been very, very supportive to me. Louis was very, very supportive to me. Every week he chose to give me a hand in choosing songs and which way to sing. And what more could I do? Like, he came to pick me as his wild card, and it's just something that I'll always have, and I'll always have to thank him for doing that for me, because he gave me the opportunity. If he didn't pick me as the wild card, I wouldn't be where I am today.
I have to say he changed a lot, and he changed a lot for the better. Because I mean, if I listen to the tapes back that time, I remember the first time we did a sort of an in-depth interview about what he liked and all this kind of stuff and the music he listened to. He wasn't very media savvy, and that's not a criticism of him. He's a very innocent guy with the media and stuff, and obviously he's learned a lot since. But I noticed during the Eurostar competition how his confidence grew. You know, his confidence built through the whole competition, and how good he was with dealing with the media and stuff. But he's a very quiet guy, very into the music, and I wouldn't call him a very ambitious guy, but he knows what he wants to do. He's driven by his love of music. And one thing I could see during the competition was when he's at his happiest is when he's up there doing his thing on the stage. And that may sound very cliched, but I noticed that. I mean, I went up for the last 3 Helix episodes and the final as well. And I mean, the guy was so cool. You know, I know he said on the interviews that I'm not a bit nervous, but he wasn't. And up he went, and he just wanted to get up and do it. And that was where he was happiest, up on stage.
You learn to build confidence, like dealing with cameras and dealing with media and stuff after a certain amount of time as well. But at the end of the day, it's my job. It's like anyone that goes into a factory that's going in to do a job. It's anyone who's doing driving, it's their job. It's the same for me. It's my job and it's my career. So what's the point in being shy about things? It's just get up there and do it. And look, I feel very comfortable doing things, you know.
For people that aren't perhaps familiar, what happens to somebody who wins Eurostar? I mean, the next few weeks between the end of Eurostar and the next time some people would have seen you would have been Eurovision.
Yeah.
That must have been a crazy time. Are you even aware of all the things that are going on?
It was absolutely madness. I'll tell you, for instance, the night I won the Eurostar, we went straight to a hotel. We were in a hotel in Dublin, and there was a party on after. It was about 3 or 4 o'clock by the time I got to bed, but I was back up for 6 because I had something like 24, 25 interviews to do. And when I finished the interviews for the papers, I had the likes of Satitude, I had a Den, and then I had to go straight into the Christmas edition, which is only coming up I think it's only coming up over the December month of the lyrics board. So I was in an awful heap. And because on the night of the final, the voice was nearly gone. So I was in an awful heap, but it's very, very demanding. But as I said, you learn to deal with it. Like I'm on the road majority, maybe 7 days a week, every week. But you just get used to it. You've no other choice. It's either you put the work in, there's no one else going to do it for you. And if you don't put the work in, I don't think you will go anywhere. A lot of people said, like, you often hear Dave Fanning saying, the Eurostar or the Eurovision is the kiss of death. But I said it, and I said it from day one. It all depends on the amount of work that you put in and how hard you work when you come back. And I worked absolutely as hard as I could. Like, to come back at 3, even I had 2 top 10 hits when I came back, and I had one obviously with my World Stop Touring before that. That's how I made it. If I